Hello, and it's David again. Welcome to another Deadguy stream. I'm David. Normally I do Nic Fit videos, but lately I've been playing a lot of Deadguy Ale. And this is pretty close to the list that I've been running for the last, I don't know, 6 or 7 leagues. And this one splashes red, and I figured I'd talk about some of the differences from sort of, there's some differences from my last video, as well as some differences from my last 5.0 list, which I think was about a week ago. So first of all, Witch's Cottage is a new card that I'm trying out. Um, there's sort of one utility land spot, that could be a variety of things in this deck. Witch's Cottage, I think, is worth a test. I've never run a league with this, so I'm going to see how that goes. But this could easily be Castle Locthwain, or maybe even something like Volrath Stronghold or a second Karakas. But I'm trying out Witch's Cottage. There's plenty of swamps. Usually every land in the deck is a swamp, except for like a Karakas and a Plains. And even those can be swamps with Urborg. So I figure Witch's Cottage could be pretty strong. There's usually a creature in the graveyard, although Hidetsugu can be a bit of a non-bow with that. So we'll see how this goes. I'm not 100% sold on this card, but it's worth a test. The other sort of difference, I've moved Tourach Dread Cantor to the sideboard. I was sort of putting together a sideboard guide, and this card, like, you side it out in a lot of matchups. Tons of matchups. Delver, 8 cast. It's sort of perhaps a little too slow. Not saying it's a dead card in the matchup. It can still do work, but you usually side it out. But in other matchups, it's like the best card in the 75. Like Death and Taxes or any sort of control variant. It's usually an absolute all-star. So I'm testing it out in the sideboard because it's a very polarized card. I've basically swapped the Tourachs for main deck Lilianas of the Veil. I guess to talk a little bit about the red splash, Hidetsugu is probably the main card that I'm splashing for. This card really sort of shores up a lot of the bad matchups of Deadguy Ale, destroying each non-land permanent with converted mana cost 1 or less. I don't have any of those. So, this basically never hits me. Exiling the graveyard, with the exception of Witch's Cottage. I don't have anything that cares about the graveyard. And then, makes a 3/3. That's sort of just value, I guess. You don't usually care whether you have the 3/3 or not. I mean, it's a relevant part of the card, but it doesn't. I've probably connected with the flipped version like twice or 3 times, total in 7 or 8 leagues. So I don't think it matters that much. I mean, it's a threat. They will concede to it if they have nothing, but that's about where it is. But really, this card shines in a lot of the bad matchups for Deadguy Ale. And so this is any sort of go wide strategy. Not as much like Elves, although it does shine in that matchup. But I'm thinking like, Delver when they get 2 or 3 flying threats, like that's really good. And then the Exiling the Graveyard can sort of turn off Murktides. So it's really good in that matchup. It's really good in the 8 cast matchup, which is probably the worst major matchup of like the major decks that you usually see in leagues. 8 cast is probably the worst of those. Burn's probably a worse matchup, but you don't see Burn a lot. But 8 cast is pretty bad. This clears out, a Chalice or any sort of graveyard shenanigans, clears out Mox Opals, clears out Thopter tokens, which is usually a big problem. So all that kind of stuff. It's really good. It's also pretty good in the like 8 mulch matchup, which isn't that bad, but it's good in that matchup. That matchup, like if they get the the Field of the Dead online, it's really hard to win. But this can really help. So yeah, I've been pretty happy with this red splash. The red splash, you run 2 Badlands. The cost isn't too high. We already have 8 fetch lands, so the cost to adding red isn't that high. Other than that, deck's pretty standard. A couple opposition agents, couple Hymn to Tourach, 3 Dauthi Voidwalkers, 4 Dark Confidants, 4 Stoneforges. I'm going with Lion Sash, Jitte, and Kaldra over Batterskull. Not in love with Batterskull. Obviously, it helps in a couple matchups, but I don't think it's that important. And then just rounding it out with like the 1-drops, no creatures, of course, with Hidetsugu, but Thoughtseize, Dark Ritual, Swords to Plowshares. The sideboard, a couple things different. The big thing is with red, you get Red Blast or Pyroblast. And I'm running 3. This card's fantastic right now in the Legacy meta. Tons of blue out there. The premier threat in Murktide region is blue. But also a couple decks, like the control decks that, I consider control a positive matchup. Like that's a matchup that I I'm happy to see. But the toughest control matchup is like the Days Undoing matchups. Um, and you sort of like want to save your Swords of Plowshares for a Hull Breacher, but like Swords of Plowshares is a dead card otherwise. Red Blast is a great substitute. You can hit basically anything in their deck. And it's good in combo matchups, a couple of them. Um, so this card just has a lot of play. It's a really good card in Legacy right now. Still running 4, so 6 total Planeswalkers, got 4 in the sideboard, 2 in the main. Because there's no Plague Engineers in here, I'm opting for 1 Liliana the Last Hope. It sort of accomplishes a similar role. Hidetsugu also does sort of a Plague Engineer impression a little bit. A lot of times it's a little different. Can't kill things like Thalia, but does kill things like Ether Vial. But I figure between Hidetsugu and Liliana Last Hope, I'm hoping that's enough. So 4 Planeswalkers, and then basically combo hate, 3 Deafening Silences, 3 Surgical Extractions. It's a lot of graveyard hate between, Ashiok, Kaya, 3 Surgicals, 2 Hidetsugus, a Lion Sash, 3 Dauthi Voidwalkers, but that's the legacy metagame right now. So cool. That's where we're at. So I 5-0'd with something pretty similar to this. I think I was on 2 Red Blasts. I think I had a Triome instead of a second Badlands. And I think this Witch's Cottage was just a swamp. But I'm testing out this change, so cool. Without further ado, I'm going to dive into a league. Okay, I don't think I've run into this person before. But let's stick on the play. This hand's a little unfortunate in that I cannot cast the Stoneforge Mystics. So I need to sort of draw something to do that. But I have Thoughtseize into Dauthi Voidwalker, which isn't bad. Any land lets me cast Liliana of the Veil. I think this is okay. It's not flawless, but, it'll do the job. I need to draw something, but I have 8 fetch lands plus, the other lands that the white lands that I can draw. So I'm going to keep this. No idea what my opponent's on, but turn 1 Thoughtseize into turn 2 Dauthi Voidwalker into, if I can get it, a turn 3 Liliana of the Veil. That seems pretty strong to me. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so this looks like lands. Not too worried about most of this stuff, actually. Exploration is definitely the take here. The expedition map's fine. And then, if you can get a Dauthi Voidwalker online, that's a very good card to have against lands. So I'm going to take the exploration and then Dauthi Voidwalker. So that's a fine start for me, I think. If they can Pithing Needle Wasteland, but they're sort of in the dark. They could look me up on Goldfish or something, but whatever. The Bojuka Bog doesn't do anything against me. Boseiju can hit one of my lands, but I have plenty of lands to fetch out to fill that gap. Not too worried about Expedition Map. Alright, opening with the Mox Diamond. Pitching. Probably the Bog would be my guess, but I don't know. If they pitch the... Okay, they're pitching the Foothills. That's surprising. And they're porting me. Alright, that's not ideal. But I guess we'll see how it goes. See what I draw here. Yep. I imported. Okay, so I can Ritual into Liliana here, which doesn't seem that bad. They can Pithing Needle it, which they almost certainly will. So I don't know if that's actually the best thing I can do. Maybe I'll just play a bad land and hold up, and we'll sort of see where they go. Because playing into the Pithing Needle is not stellar with the Liliana. I make them pitch a land. Lands doesn't care if they discard a land, so I don't think that's that important. All right, playing the Boseiju, cropping it. Wonder what that's for. Wasteland. All right, they're gonna Wasteland me. That's fine. If they have Life from the Loam, I'm actually in trouble. All right, they're porting me. Well, nothing I can do here. That's pretty bad. I didn't think... I mean, that's 2 pretty good draws in a row for them. Rishad import into crop rotation, but them's the draw. If I can get another land, I can Thoughtseize the Pithing Needle, which wouldn't be that bad. Alright, pitch in the bog. So these are their two unknowns. Let's see what they get here. Probably the map here. They have not played a land drop. Okay, Pithing Needle. Not sure what they're going to name here. Gristlebrand. Okay. Oh, they think I'm on Reanimator. I guess from my lands, that's probably not a terrible guess. Okay, so I can take the map. I can ritual into Dauthi Voidwalker and then Thoughtseize the map. I don't hate that. I don't hate that. I think I like that better than Liliana of the Veil, which just, you know, they're going to be hellbent in a second here anyway, so I don't think it does very much. So let's play the Dauthi Voidwalker, which starts the clock, and take their map away. The map also lets me, I mean, it costs a lot of mana, but I can get a Karakas in a pinch. Alright, you've got an exploration, buddy. Clock starts now. A white land or something that can get a white land would be fantastic. Alright, let's see where it goes. My opponent doesn't have a ton of lands here, actually. Okay, Blast Zone, that's a little dangerous. Although they have to not port me to leave it up. Let's see what they do here. They're going to port me. Sure. Well, keep the beat down. I guess they don't have, now that they have 4 sources, they don't have to do that. That's a pretty good draw against me right now. Alright, they're going to port me again. Yup. Well, nothing going on. They can pump the Blast Zone. Costs a lot to do it. Yeah, they're going to pump it to 2. Seems fine. Blowing the Blast Zone's kind of pricey right now, but I guess they have to do it if they get low due to Dauthi Voidwalker. Dauthi Voidwalker is a clock, and it, you know, it will do the job. Let's see if what they're doing here. They're going to port me again. Sure. Hidetsugu would be fantastic, but I'm a ways from actually doing it. Need a lot of lands. Haven't seen a land since my opener. So I've dug 7 cards more and haven't seen a land. And I'm about to start. Their clock's pretty fast on me here. Although Hidetsugu, man, if I can get that going, that would be fantastic. Oh, they're just tapping it for lands. Oh no, they are making a thing. Okay, and they still have enough mana to port me. I guess they can get something that bounces the Dauthi Voidwalker. Shadow Spear. Shadow Spear's trouble. If I draw a white land, I can Prismatic Ending the Shadow Spear, or Prismatic Ending a construct. Standstill. That's interesting. That's not an expected card. I have to give them the 3 cards if I want to do it. I guess I'm just dead if I, yeah, so I'm dead here actually. Just dead on board. Let's see. I can play an expedition map, which doesn't help. I can play an Urza's Saga. Give them a bunch of lands. I don't think that does very much. I'm debating between playing the Urza Saga and then playing out the Liliana of the Veil, or just conceding, I think. I guess I could play out the expedition map, search with it, fetch up like a land, and Swords to Plowshares something. because otherwise this is just bad. I mean, yeah, I think rather than give up any information that I'm even on white black, I think I'm just going to concede. I think that's better. Like I don't see any way to get through this game. Yeah, I'm going to just concede. We'll see if I can do better. All right. So let's see, some sort of weird blue version. So I think Kaya's good. I think Ashiok's good. These, I don't think the Red Blast, I don't think I need them. Surgical is okay. I probably wouldn't bring in all three. I might bring in two. Hidetsugu's good. Liliana of the Veil is not stellar. Neither is him to Tourach. And Jitte's not very good. So I might cut those. Dauthi Voidwalker's great. Confidant's good. Stoneforge is good. Lion Sash is good. Swords of Plowshares is not amazing. But like they can just get a fast merit lodge. So I'm sort of leaning towards maybe maybe trimming one. I definitely want these. And then I don't know how good Liliana of the Veil is. So maybe I'll trim a Liliana and a Source of Plowshares for 2 surgicals. This deck is a little non-standard, so I'm a little outside of the ordinary. But usually discard's not very good. I mean, outside of Thoughtseize, because usually you're hitting like lands and stuff, and then they have Life from the Loam. So there's like him's just not good, and Liliana frequently is not very good either. I mean, you know, they're kind of not dissimilar from a Loam deck, and Loam runs their own Liliana of the Veil. So, yeah, I think this is what I'm going to run. We'll see how this goes. All right. This seems okay. I'm going to lead with Swamp into just Thoughtseize, rather than even holding up the Dark Ritual into Opposition Agent. And my reasoning there is they frequently do not fetch on turn 1. So I'm going to keep this and just Thoughtseize them. And I'm going to fetch a basic. Oh man, the Witch's Cottage. Surprised. All right, cool. Get a Swamp, Thoughtseize. I think that's better than Ritual into Dauthi Voidwalker Thoughtseize. I think I'm just going to Thoughtseize. I'll play the Dauthi Voidwalker maybe next turn or maybe even the turn after. Okay, so let's take the Exploration. And then they do have fetch lands, which they may conceivably not fetch here. Now I really want to get that Dauthi Voidwalker online, though. We'll see what they got here. Mox Diamond. Okay, so that's their draw for turn. Pitch the Wooded Foothills. Oh, they're going to Life from the Loam here. There's a Saga. All right. Okay, I'm surprised they didn't Life from the Loam. I'm a bit surprised. So I can Wasteland them and then they can Life from the Loam it, or I can just play Dauthi Voidwalker and then they can Wasteland me. I think that's okay. They have another, so I'm gonna just get the Dauthi Voidwalker online because I think that's really important to just shut down their engine here. Sure, they get a Urza's Saga token, but I'm not that concerned about that. They have to sort of choose between Wasteland and the Saga token. We'll see what they do. Wasteland, sure. Oh, they're not Wastelanding me? That's surprising. Okay. Well. So I guess my options here, I can Wasteland their Urza Saga, but I don't know if I really care. Because I'm going to Opposition Agent their Urza Saga and take, like, I don't know, maybe a Thespian, or Pithing Needle or something. So I don't know if I care about that. Like if they want to Urza's Saga, I can just hold up and put them in bad shape. So I might just Wasteland into Dark Confidant, and we'll just see how that goes. And then I'm gonna Dark Ritual into Opposition Agent in response to them Urza Sagaing. Sure. We'll see what they do here. Okay. So I'm going to respond to that with Dark Ritual and Opposition Agent. And I'll take whatever they're fetching. They still get the creature, but it's not that important. Like, we'll see if we get to snip their whole deck, and we'll see how it goes. So they're now down a land, and they have a tapped Wasteland, which I can Wasteland. So Expedition map isn't terrible. Let's see, I was going to snip this. So I'm going to do that. Let's snip the deck. So let's see here. They got Flusterstorms. Those are pretty dead. Standstills. Those are annoying, but not that big of a deal. Do they have... Okay, they have Thespian Stage. There's one Dark Depths in the whole deck, so I'm not too worried about that. Blast Zone is annoying, but like, I guess that's what Wasteland's for. So I can get either Pithing Needle or Shadow Spear. I lean towards the Shadow Spear here. I lean towards the Shadow Spear here, I think. I can Wasteland their Wasteland, and then they're pretty low on mana, I think. Like, I think that's pretty good. I'm gonna take the Shadow Spear. The other option is just Pithing Needling Urza's Saga, which is pretty good. Yeah. I don't know if I care though. Like, they're so low on mana, they don't have any way to fetch a source. I can Prismatic Ending either the Mox Diamond or not. I'm gonna get the Shadow Spear. Nope. Clicked on it there. Alright. And if they attack, I would consider even blocking with the Opposition Agent. Like, it's done its job. Like, I can even Prismatic Ending the Mox Diamond and Wasteland. So I can Wasteland the Blast Zone. So I'm actually considering blocking with the Opposition Agent. I think that's fine. Yeah. Let's see, that turns on the Windswept Heath, though. Maybe I won't do that. I'm going to just let it go. I don't think I care about 3 damage. Especially since I took the Shadow Spear. So I kind of do need to Wasteland the Blast Zone. Ashiok's pretty good, but not that great right now. So I can Prismatic Ending the Construct, or I can Prismatic Ending the Mox Diamond. The Mox Diamond cuts them off of colored mana, which is pretty good. If I Wasteland the Wasteland, then I keep my white source. If I Wasteland the Blast Zone, I don't keep my white source. So that's something to consider. Yeah, I don't know. Definitely a thought here. Definitely a thought. Well, I think I'm going to put pressure on their life total, and I'm going to Prismatic Ending the Construct. We'll do that. And then I can either Wasteland the Wasteland or the Blast Zone. I kind of want to save. Like, I think I win the race here. Like, I'm going to hit him for 8 this turn, and then I'm going to have a Shadow Spear in play. So I think you just Wasteland the Blast Zone, and like, if they want to Wasteland my Scrubland, like, go for it. So I'm going to just hit this thing, play the Shadow Spear, and just go for broke. Alright, let's do it. Put some pressure on. I mean, I have Dark Confidant, so, like, I'm going to hopefully draw some lands with that thing. And if they Wasteland me, it puts even more pressure on their life total. Or more pressure on their lands, because, you know, like, Life from the Loam, you can Life from the Loam, it'll get exiled, and then you get a land that you can't fetch with. So, I don't know. I think I'm in okay shape. Okay. Sure. That's very surprising to me. Like, you don't win this race. Well, I can't equip the Shadow Spear, but I can just attack with everything and, I mean, put you in huge trouble. Let's just go for it, I guess. I mean, even if you block the opposition agent, you go to 4? I guess I technically can play the surgical if I really want to, which I do not. Yeah, I didn't think Standstill seemed very dubious to me there. Okay, so this is their deck. Standstill's tricky. Sphere of Resistance is also pretty good against me. You know, they can definitely get some card advantage with the Standstill. I think getting the Pithing Needle for Urza's Saga, like, they just don't have other threats. Like, if you get that, they just don't have anything. So I sort of do wonder about that. I mean, I guess they can both Sage you away the Pithing Needle and then, like, turn Urza's Saga on, but it still seems pretty dicey. Okay, so I think I can trim even one more Swords to Plowshares. It's not terrible. I think Prismatic Ending is a keep. Swords to Plowshares, you are worried about their one of Merit Lodge, but you know, I think this is still okay. Kai is good, takes out the Urza Saga contract tokens and takes out explorations and stuff like that. So I think this is fine. Thoughtseize seems okay. You definitely want the rituals. Surgical's good. I'm not even sure what I want though. Like, I don't really want this. I don't think I want this. So maybe I mean, 3 Swords to Plowshares seems like a lot, but maybe you just save Swords to Plowshares for construct tokens. I mean, you have Hidetsugu for them. Maybe you need Jitte for, like, life total purposes or something. I don't really know here. Yeah, I don't think any of these are that good. No. Yeah, I can't, like, I don't want Umezawa's Jitte. I think I'm just going to keep it. The Lily on the Last Hope, like, you can mill. I don't know. I don't think this is that good. Alright, let's just keep it as is. I think I still want this over, like, Liliana of the Veil. Kind of a weird matchup. The Standstill variant is weird. They're also on some sort of, like, I mean, 4 Sphere of Resistances in the main, so they're very much on that plan. I think this hand's okay. You can Verdant. It's a little risky because they can Standstill you, but I don't know if there's anything I can do about that. Mulligan to 5 here for my opponent. That's a little rough. But yeah, this is probably a Dauthi Voidwalker turn 2 and then Dark Confidant turn 3, assuming I don't, you know, get standstilled or something. The Scrubland can take out the Saga construct tokens or an exploration or something. not a standstill. Mulligan to 5, they're probably not worried about it because they can like standstill turn 1 and then what, you know? Okay, so I can either Thoughtseize or Prismatic Ending the Expedition map. I think you just Thoughtseize them and we'll see how it goes. So I'm going to just fetch Basic and Thoughtseize. And we'll see what they got. Hopefully not Standstill. Or, oh, 2 Standstills. Well, okay. That's pretty unfortunate. So they're going to recoup all this card advantage here. And at this point, you might as well just play right into it. There's nothing else to do. Don't hate the Hidetsugu draw. I'm going to just play Dauthi Voidwalker here. I mean, they recoup basically their mulligan. So that's that. They have 5 cards in hand again. Dauthi Voidwalker shuts off a few things from them. But yeah, they now have a full hand again. We're both even on hand. The Witch's Cottage here is a little awkward. This would be kind of nice if this was like Castle Locktwain. You know, if they like Wasteland me here on the Scrubland, this, you know, this would be a much better. It would be much better as Castle Locktwain. Of course, if it was like a Triome or something, you'd have the same problem. But yeah, and even Volrath's Stronghold would be nice. Like you could play it with the Dark Confidant. So Witch's Cottage, it's not cost free, I guess, you know. But I still think it's worth a test. But this is one strike against it, I guess. Because if they Wasteland me here, that's kind of brutal. I have no turn 3 play. Porting me accomplishes the same thing. Oh, they're doing something actually. Pithing Needle. Okay. I mean, I can Prismatic Ending that if I need to. Okay, he's stopping the Dauthi Voidwalkers. Hidetsugu will take that out, although I'm a ways from that because I'm going to get ported here. Sure. All right. Well, I think we play the Witch's Cottage tapped and just beat down. See how it goes. So if they do have some sort of shenanigans to get a quick Merit Lodge, I do have Swords to Plowshares, but Swords to Plowshares is not stellar in this matchup. So 1 port now doesn't do it because I can play a second Dauthi Voidwalker or play a Dark Confidant. I'm a little scared to do that because of Blast Zone, but you know, I think it's okay. They play another 1-drop, I'll hit Hidetsugu if I draw fetch land. But I think my next play is the Dark Confidant. Not sure what they're thinking here. Oh, they're gonna map. Sure. I do not have Dark Ritual into Opposition Agent. I guess they had to take the risk. So again, I guess I can't map here because I'd have to Prismatic Ending. I guess I could if they don't port me, which the port's tapped. I can Prismatic Ending the Pithing Needle, Tabernacle. That's super annoying. I guess that's a port, basically. All right. Yep, I'm paying 1. Okay, so this is kind of interesting. I can go kind of all in here on Dark Confidant and Dauthi Voidwalker. I mean, it sort of makes the port irrelevant. It's also quite a clock. Although if they have like Blast Zone or even like crop rotation for Blast Zone, that's sort of big trouble for me. Yeah. I think I'm still gonna do it, because even if they have crop rotation for Blast Zone, I guess they'd still be a land away. Yeah, and then they would essentially, yeah, I mean, it's still, like, I'm gonna get some attacks in, so I think this is okay. It also means, like, all my lands have to get used to fight the Tabernacle. So I'm gonna ritual into Voidwalker Confidant. Let's go. No Blast Zone. So you just pay for all the Tabernacle and, you know, hope to get there with 8 damage a turn. I mean, ports don't do anything here, because Tabernacle has double ported me already. Okay, let's see here. I'm gonna stack, stack, stack. So I'll draw the card. Okay. I'm gonna pay. I guess they can double, like, crop rotation here. That would be kind of bad for me. I'm gonna just tap all of these. Yep. Yep. All right. Land for turn? Guess not. All right, let's go. So now they can't even block here. So the Dauthi Voidwalkers are lethal, but I mean, there's things like Glacial Chasm or whatever stuff. Oh, just straight up concession. All right, well, got there against this sort of like different lands variant. It's kind of good. I think I got a little unlucky game one. I kept a dicey hand. It was a little risky, but cool. All right. All right, match 2 on the play this time. Ugh. Even with triple Thoughtseize, like, the Kaldra is kind of a dead card. I think this is a pretty easy mulligan, actually. Like, this is already a 6 because of the Kaldra, and a 6 with 3 Thoughtseizes and 1 land, and not even a basic. Yeah, I think it's a mulligan. Cool. Yeah, I like this better. I'm gonna keep this, bottom the Witch's Cottage. I'm gonna lead on the fetch. It does make me vulnerable to Wasteland, but it hides what I'm doing, and I think playing basic Swamp is not where you want to be turn 1. So I'm gonna lead on the fetch. I hope I don't get stifled. Did I say wasted? If I said wasted, I meant stifled. Alright, Delver's fine. Okay, so I have a couple choices here. So one of the things I like here actually is Wasteland into Prismatic Ending. And if they force it, like, that's fine. So I don't hate that. Now I definitely would go that route. I think Wasteland, and then you fetch a white source and Prismatic Ending. So let's open with the Waste. So this means they can't daze. Fetch the Scrubland and just Prismatic Ending that thing. And if they want to force that, good on them. And so now, okay, yep, works for me. Now you lead on the basic. I don't think you Dark Ritual for the Confidant. I'm just going to lead on the basic, and, you know, we'll see where it goes. All right. Basic. All right, they're going to Ponder. That's fine. Too bad I didn't have an opposition agent there. It would have been a great time to get them. All right, so I'm going to play the Wasteland and Confidant, and, you know, it plays into days, but such is life. Welcome to Legacy. All right, here they go. Fetching for non-basic. DRC. All right, so I'm going to fetch basic here, play the Stoneforge, and then Wasteland them. So, I mean, they can daze that, I guess. But okay, so and I definitely want Kaldra here because basically their deck usually doesn't have an answer to Kaldra, and so if you can get it online, like this forces them to have a red land and a bolt. So I'm going to take the Kaldra and then Wasteland them. And we'll see. So no red source. They're thinking about whether to attack and try to bait me. Okay, so I can try to Dark Ritual into Dauthi Voidwalker Kaldra Compleat, but I don't think I need to do that. I'm gonna just play the Kaldra Compleat, and we're gonna see how it goes. Kaldra Compleat's a pretty fast clock, although if they like play an immediate Murktide, this could be bad for me. Ponder's fine. So no Murktide this turn. DRC is turned on, which is trouble. Although Lion Sash can cause some trickery here if I draw like a white source. So they have one creature in the yard. So I can try to get them with some trickery here. Like, I can try to get them with some trickery, like force them to attack with the Dragon Rage Channeler, and then you put in the Lion Sash, eat the Delver, and then kill the Dragon Rage Channeler. I think I don't hate that. I think that's fine. My opponent will obviously suspect some shenanigans, but, you know, that's life. Here's the shenanigans. So here we get Scrubland. We'll just... They could technically get me here with like a, you know, if they... So put the Lion Sash in. We'll eat the Delver of Secrets. Oop. You know, I probably should have blocked with the Stoneforge and then ate the Delver of Secrets. That's probably a better line actually there. So you block with the Stoneforge. Or you can't block with the Stoneforge until you put the Lion Sash in. Okay, so my opponent concedes to that. This looks like you are Delver, just a regular deck. They're dead this turn if they don't have some shenanigans, basically. Because Kaldra, I can attack with the team and kill them. So basically, they needed to have a brainstorm into put a creature on the bottom, or put a creature into the bin. So hard to line up. Cool. Okay, so against Delver. Liliana Last Hope's good. Kaya's good. 3 Red Blasts are good. The rest of this is bad. Ashiok does do work in the matchup, but like it's just way too slow. Okay, so let's see. What do we not want here? My life total is pretty precious, so Confidants and Thoughtseizes on the draw are rough. Opposition Agent is usually just like a 3-drop that gets bolted. Yeah, you can get them, but it doesn't happen that much. Jitte you want. Hymn to Tourach's good. Dauthi Voidwalker's good. Hidetsugu's good. Liliana of the Veil is good. They have relatively few threats, so Liliana of the Veil, like, it just kills a threat and sticks around. So I lean towards trimming some things that hit my life total. And then I'm debating between only bringing in 1 Red Blast, or sorry, 2 Red Blasts, because, you know, my red mana is dicey. They're a Wasteland deck, so maybe that's the play here. Just this. Like, I definitely don't want to trim Prismatic Ending or Swords to Plowshares for Red Blast. Do I want to trim another Dark Confidant for a Red Blast? Probably not. Lion Sash is decent. I don't like. To me, it's basically like, do I trim a Dark Ritual for a Red Blast? I'm debating that. Huh. Card quality is really, or you know, card quantity is really important in this matchup. You frequently, like, Yeah, you know, I'm going to actually trim a Dark Ritual and bring in the other Red Blast. We'll see how this goes. We're going to see how this goes. All right. I think this is fine. I have the red source. I have everything that you want here. I'm going to keep this. So if they like, I guess I have options here. They've mulliganed to 6. So I have mulligan to 5 even. That's going to make him to Tourach really good. Also makes the Wasteland pretty good. I mean, I guess they'll fetch basic if their hand's questionable. We'll see. Even if they Wasteland my Badland, I have the second Badland off of Verdant. The Red Blast can't hit the DRC, but otherwise this is a fine hand. So I'm leaning towards just Wasteland here. You know, they're like they have 3 cards. Do they have another land? Like, I don't know the answer. I mean, they probably do, but I think this could cut them off of red, or you know, could do a couple things. I'm not sure what my opponent's doing here. Okay. Urborg's an okay draw. It's not the best. I'm gonna just Wasteland him. Like if they don't have another land here, like if they were hoping to untap and ponder, you know, well, they drew a brainstorm. They have the land. Okay, that's fine. It's pretty much the worst draw in the deck. I'm gonna just play a Verdant. Yeah, I'm gonna just play a Verdant and pass. I will consider, if they crack the Flooded Strand, to just Red Blast the Insectile Aberration. So I'm going to do that here. It cuts me off white, but so they can't daze, so it just dies. Yeah, I don't have any answer to the DRC anyway. Okay, that's kind of interesting. That's kind of interesting. I think here you play the basic swamp, you ritual into Voidwalker him to Tourach, and if they daze him to Tourach, like, that's fine. So I'm going to just play the Dauthi Voidwalker and then him to Tourach them. And if they daze it, that's okay. Okay, Murktide and a Lightning Bolt. Can't hate that. And the Dragon Rage Channeler can't turn on until Dauthi Voidwalker's gone. So Dauthi Voidwalker completely stops the Dragon Rage Channeler from filling the yard or from getting any bigger at all. So, you know, right now it's a 3 attacker, 3 power attacker against a 1 power attacker. So I don't hate this. There's the Brainstorm, so that thing's gone. Got a fetch land. Let's see what my opponent's got here. Another one of those. Didn't attack. That's weird. Okay. Question: do I play the Hidetsugu into daze? I think you do. I don't think they have a daze. So, you know, they have 1 card. I don't know what it is, because it's probably like a Murktide or something. I guess let's jam it. And if they daze it, I'm going to be sad. All right. Okay, so Hidetsugu being a body is kind of relevant, and then this basically is going to exile their yard, and I mean, my yard doesn't really matter. I don't care if they hit my Badland here, doesn't matter. So the question is, do I play out the Badland or just hold it back? Might just hold it back. I don't see any benefit to playing it out, so I'll just stick with it. I'm not trying to like get towards Kaldra Compleat. Like, I'm not hard casting that thing this turn or this game. So Hidetsugu is going to come into play next turn. Card's real. It is a 3/3. And it gets out of bolt range after you have to untap with it again. Man, cards. Hidetsugu is a pretty slow clock, I'll be honest. Okay. That's kind of interesting, I guess. Maybe I will play out the Badlands. Do I even care? I don't even know. I don't think I care. Like, the graveyard's empty. I guess I'll attack and then we'll see what happens. So Hidetsugu comes into play. Let's get the beats. I mean, my opponent's got one card. You know, I think the Witch's Cottage, I'm not getting value off it this game. I'm going to just play it out. Like, yeah, I can play the Badland and then it's turned on, but then I'm just probably not getting value off it this game. It can't return the Vessel of the All-Consuming either. That thing. Petty Theft. Okay. I mean, I'm just going to play it again, but that's fine. So let's swing in here. Turn my guy into 4 power. All right. So here, I'm going to play the Wasteland, play the Dauthi Voidwalker, and then Wasteland their Volk. Just to keep them low on lands, and, you know, it doesn't fill the graveyard, so. All right, so 1 turn clock on the board. And even if they kill the Voidwalker, like, okay, they just conceded. Awesome. So yeah, this is really highlighted where Dauthi Voidwalker and Hidetsugu really showed their power against Delver. So that was great. Yeah, awesome. Cool. I'm gonna take a little break and then I will be back. All right, we're back with more Redguy Ale on the draw. Hand seems fine. You know, doesn't have everything, but it's got a turn 2 Voidwalker. It's got double Wasteland. Like, I think this hand's fine. Let's keep it. Let's see what my opponent's got going on. Hopefully not turn 1. Oh, trouble. This looks like 8 cast, which is probably the worst matchup for this. That's okay. I'm going to plow that thing. Okay, my opponent has seen my top card. All right. My opponent draws a card. There's another Swords to Plowshares. So I'm going to just Swords to Plowshares the Emery off of a... let's see, I got to fetch Scrubland here. So I'm going to go Scrubland into Plow. And basically hope that my opponent, you know, if they have another land, like, I guess that's okay. You know, I can Wasteland it next turn, but otherwise, hopefully, all right, they had it. Chalice on 1 is fine. Okay, so here's the question. Do I Wasteland that Urza's Saga? I think the answer is yes. Like, they're pretty low on resources. So I think you just Wasteland the Urza's Saga and, you know, hopefully that cuts them off. So the Prismatic and the Swords of Plowshares are dead. Or, well, the Swords of Plowshares is dead, unless I want to do a Prismatic Ending for 2 on the Chalice, which I can do. Okay, my opponent's got nothing now. Dark Ritual's dead, or at least currently. So I think we just get the Dauthi Voidwalker online and let's go. We jam. Ottawara is fine. Sai is annoying. Okay. Not great choices here. Like, not great. So I can Prismatic the Chalice, hoping to get to... oh, I guess I can just Prismatic the Sai straight up. That's a good choice. Let's do that. Oh, that's nice. So now this leaves 2 cards in my hand dead basically forever, but I think it's okay for now. So we'll just hit the Sai, and then they don't have anything here, and then basically I have a 3 power. They got a 1 power. Let's go. Okay, they've seen Dauthi Voidwalker in my hand. So I'm not going to be casting any of their stuff here, or at least not right now. I will Wasteland them next turn and then play the Dauthi Voidwalker. I want to just cut them off as many lands as possible. I'm going to Wasteland them. We'll play this first off of this, and then Wasteland. Yeah, I'm Wastelanding them because, like, even if they draw an Urza's Saga, which would be like the most relevant card in their deck for me to Wasteland, like, they don't have the lands to do anything with it. So I have 2 dead cards in my hand. Another Dauthi Voidwalker. Nothing wrong with that. We'll just keep jamming. I think that's this is lethal next turn. I guess I don't need to yield through the turn. Urza's Saga does not matter at this point. Okay, yep, just lethal on board. 3 Dauthi Voidwalkers. Okay, so I do need to get lucky in this matchup. This can be a hard matchup. On the draw, it's tricky too. The Hidetsugus are good. I think you want at least 2 Red Blasts, possibly 3. Actually, I guess you want Red Blast probably over Swords to Plowshares. It hits. It can counter their stuff as well. Like, it can hit the Thought Monitor in addition to Sai and whatever. So I think that's good enough. I think Kaya's good in this matchup, and I like Deafening Silence in this matchup, and I don't hate Surgical in this matchup. This is probably still not a matchup for Ashiok, even though, Ashiok, like they have search effects and like search effects in Urza's Saga, and they care about the graveyard with whatever Emery is, but it might still not be the right matchup for Ashiok, so we'll see where that goes. Generally, I don't really like Liliana of the Veil in this matchup because I feel like they get a lot of like tiny tokens, and then like they don't do anything. So I'm not in love with that. Like, I think I'd rather have Kaya for that. Like, I think Kaya is in many ways better than Liliana in this matchup. So I think that's good. You do have to be worried about Chalice, but I think you just play into Chalice. I don't think Umezawa's Jitte is good in this matchup. I think you definitely want the deafening. You definitely want 2 Deafening Silences, just because these are super annoying. It turns Emery into, like, they have to use their whole turn to cast that thing. I guess they can still, like, cast a Kappa or something like that. But I think you want the Red Blast because you have to have an answer to Kappa. Otherwise, you're just going to lose. So what's the answer here? It might be like trimming a Swords to Plowshares and a Dark Ritual. Just trim some 1-drops for some different 1-drops, because you are worried about Chalice. I think you definitely want Dark Confidant. You definitely want Dauthi Voidwalker. Him to Tourach, good. Opposition Agent is fine. I don't know if it's better than Ashiok, but sometimes you can trick them, but even then it's probably not good enough. Maybe I do want Ashiok over Opposition Agent. 14 seconds. I'm going to just go with this. Yeah, hand's fine. If they go for an early Sai or Emery, you just Swords to Plowshares it. Otherwise, you have a bunch of turn 2 drops, which are, like, they're not going to Chalice for 2, at least not right away. So I think this is fine. Hope to get lucky. It would be nice to have, oh, alright. It would be nice to have a Hidetsugu, but can't ask for everything. Alright, so I'm going to just play a Bloodstained Mire and pass. And, you know, if they, like, go in for something, I'm going to, for a Sai or something, I'm going to plow it, but they're probably just going to hold back and Saga. I'm going to fetch here just because I want to thin my deck for a draw. I'm going to just get a Scrubland. Cool. Okay, so the Saga can get something that can bounce Kaldra Compleat, so it's probably not good to do that. So I might just play a Badland and play a Voidwalker. Or do I want a Confidant? Ugh. I'm going to go with the Voidwalker. Just... do I want that? Or do I want the Confidant? My life total is going to be pressured off of this Saga. I think I'm going to go with the Confidant. Because I really want to draw into Hidetsugu. I think Confidant gets me there a little faster. Hopefully. Here's the construct tokens. They're going to hurt. And then they get, I don't know, could be a couple different things. But probably like Shadow Spear is likely. Maybe like another Bauble or something. Or like a Mox Opal. Mox Opal wouldn't be bad. Just ramp them. Shadow Spear, sure. Seat of the Synod. What are they doing here? Thought Monitor, sure. Then I just take 7 and get crushed. Seems fine. They see what I hit with the Confidant. Another Thought Monitor, cool. I guess that was sort of damage neutral. Maybe not quite, I guess, because they cracked the Bauble. I was going to take 7 and now I'm taking 6. Now I'm taking 7 again. Thought Monitor number 3. That's going to be very, very hard to beat. I don't know how I beat this. I think this is just going to be a scoop it up. I don't see how I beat this. You get to look again. I'm just going to yield to these because I think this game is probably over. Okay. I still die even with Hidetsugu. So, cool. Yeah, Hidetsugu wipes their board, but 3 Thought Monitors in the air. That's enough. So, I don't have any outs to this. I can play a Dauthi Voidwalker, plow a Construct token, chump a Construct. Yeah, I still die. So, yep, this game's over. Yep, that was a rough one. It happens. 8 cast is a hard matchup. Cool. So, cool. Do I want to do anything different here? I don't think Liliana Last Hope does enough. Not sure. Don't think Liliana the Veil. I think this is okay. I think the Deafening Silences are a little bit better on the play. Other than that, this seems fine. I think it seems fine. Deafening Silence is a bit of a non-bow with Hidetsugu, but nothing you can do. I think this is okay. Let's go. I actually can't cast anything in my hand other than the Prismatic Ending and the Swords to Plowshares unless I draw a land next turn. So I'm gonna mulligan this. This is a close one. Like you could gamble and keep this one, but I'm gonna mulligan it. Blech, going to 5. Yeah, can't keep a 1-lander here. Okay, this is it. Okay, so I'm definitely Thoughtseizing turn 1. Confidant is my turn 2 play, most likely. Lion Sash I think I can put back. Dauthi Voidwalker I can't cast. So maybe I'll keep the Prismatic Ending. And maybe I'll keep the Prismatic Ending and ditch the 2 graveyard cards. Yeah, it's rough, but I think that's what you got to do. No playing around Wasteland this game, so I'm going to just fetch a Badland and Thoughtseize. And we'll take a look. Take a look at what we're up against here. Thoughtcast, Thought Monitor, and a bunch of baubles and stuff. I mean, so if they play Otawara and then play Bauble Needle, like what do you needle? I could take the Opal here as a like. I could take the Opal. I think that's not terrible. Or I can Prismatic the Opal because otherwise they can go 1, 2, 3, 3, and then they can Thoughtcast turn 1. Ugh, this is rough. I'm gonna take the Opal and risk it. I think I need to play risky here in order to get there. This is a hard one. There's the Otawara. There's the Pithing Needle. Wasteland's fine. Bauble's cool. Okay, so I can hit the Pithing Needle. I don't know if I care right now. So I think you just show them the Scrubland and play the Dark Confidant. And hope that they miss. They have 2 unknown cards now after drawing. Urza Saga's annoying, but okay, I guess. Well, we saw their 2 unknown cards. Now they have another 2 unknown cards. Okay, I don't hate that. Okay. So I can Thoughtseize him again, take a Thought Monitor. Don't hate that. We'll do it with this thing. They have a Kappa. How close are they? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they would, and they have the Ancient Tomb. So that does work. They can totally cast a Kappa next turn. That's annoying. Man, their deck's good. I guess you take the Kappa, because like you can try to beat a Thought Monitor, but I'm not beating a Kappa. So I think, yeah, you take the Kappa. Have to. That sucks. Alright, so I can hit the Needle, which doesn't really do anything, admittedly. But it might keep them off of a land drop. I have to do calculations here. Okay, so 6. So they have 2 towards the 6, 3, 4, 5. So and then they have the Ancient Tomb. So they can play the Ancient Tomb, which can they can get the Saga going. Or they can, let's see, they can play the Ancient Tomb, make the Saga token, which gives them 1, 2, 3, 4 artifacts, and then they can't play the Thought Monitor. Okay, so yeah, I guess you do that over the Dark Confidant. Yeah, it's annoying. I'm gonna, actually, I'm gonna play the Dark Confidant. I just need to draw. I need to draw Hidetsugu, basically. My life total, we're all in. We're all in towards the plan here. So 1 unknown card for my opponent. There it is. So that's a pretty good one. So now they can still play the Thought Monitor. Oh, they had to crack the pedal at least. That's not what I want to draw. Okay, that's not terrible. It's not terrible. So I can Prismatic the Construct token and just attack. I don't hate that. It keeps the pressure up on their life total, and I still have another Swords to Plowshares, so let's do it. I'm gonna just Prismatic the Construct token. Get the attacks in, and then, you know, if they block one, that's fine. So they're gonna make the Urza's Saga token here. I'm sure they have a Pithing Needle, so I probably have to crack this. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they'll have 5, and then they would need 1 more mana off for the Thought Monitor. I guess you plow the Thought Monitor as a result of that. I'm gonna just plow it, and then I'm gonna crack this just so that I have I don't want to get Pithing Needled, so I'm gonna get a Scrubland. I'm gonna get a Badland again, actually, and just pass. Guess I could have got the Scrubland so that I can Swords on their turn, but that probably is a better play, actually. All right, you have a Construct. You get to fetch something. I'm drawing a bunch of cards, but taking a bunch of damage. We're sort of okay. You can do that. I definitely should have got Swords to Plowshares. That was a misplay. I guess they're not doing it anyway. Oh, they are. They could do it. I guess they can't attack this turn. Punished. Really, really, really punished. Oh man, that was a mistake. Really, really, really punished. That was a mistake. Okay, so I really need a Hidetsugu this turn. You can draw your card. Thoughtseize is dead. Marsh Flats does nothing. You can see what I draw, I guess. Hymn to Tourach is better than nothing, but not very good. We'll do it like this. So I got really punished there. I have to chump the token. Oh, but it doesn't even do anything. I'm probably just dead here. Oh man, really punished. They forced a negation it. Okay. I guess that's... I mean, I guess they had an answer to Hidetsugu anyway. Well, I'm not attacking. And I'm basically almost certainly dead here. Almost certainly dead. I guess they don't have this anymore. So they have 4 unknown cards now. Yep. So I think I have to block anyway, even though it only blocks 1 damage, just to have 1 fewer Confidant trigger. But I'm almost certainly dead here. Yep. I'm probably dead here. Okay, I am dead here. Yep. There's no outs to this, so yep. That's a shame. Tough matchup. I got really punished there with the Chalice. Definitely a play error. I should have got a Scrubland so that I could leave up the Swords to Plowshares. That I would be in much better shape if that happened. So did it cost me the game? Maybe. But regardless, definitely a play error. I shouldn't have done that. All right. Hand's okay, I guess. I think we'll keep this. It's kind of a 6-card hand, but like double Hidetsugu seems okay. It's not amazing, but like I can cast everything. You know, if you remove the Kaldra Complete, like count this as a 6-card hand, it's all right. Like I think it's fine. I'm gonna keep it. I don't hate hands that have turn 1 Thoughtseize and have plenty of lands and can cast 2 spells. It's got no turn 2 play, but I have 2 turns to draw a turn 2 play. There are more turn 2 plays in the deck than anything else. So hopefully I draw one. Bayou. Alright, so we're on Elves. The Hidetsugus are fantastic. Let's open with Thoughtseize and hope to survive. Okay, so Nat order is a problem. They're far from, well, they're not actually that far from getting there. I think you have to take the Nat order here. Yeah, I think you have to take the Nat order. Because otherwise, like, can they get there next turn so they can tap? So if they draw a forest, no, they probably still can't get there. But I don't have any, like, I can't stop them on turn 3 from Nat ordering. Like, because they go first. So I'm going to take the Nat order. So they can get the Elves online here and get some mana, but Hidetsugu's good. Hidetsugu at least will take out 2 of the Elves and then leave behind some stuff. So you're going to Green Sun, or you're going to... What are they going to do here? They're going to Green Sun. That's fine. Hidetsugu notably does not hit creature, or does not hit Dryad Arbor, so that one will stay behind, but presumably they're going to play the Heritage Druid next turn, and I'm going to hope to draw a spell that matters. Anything would be good. That is not a spell that I can play. So I'm gonna just play the Swamp. I'm gonna hope to maybe get value off the Witch's Cottage much later. So they played the Bog. They have these 2 and 2 unknown cards. They're gonna play probably the Heritage and the Visionary, and then they can Nat order if they have it. So this is why I wanted to play the Natural Order. Here's the Heritage Druid. Yep. And then you can tap for 3, 4. So if they have Nat order, they can do it. Otherwise, they could get something like Grist. Looks like a Green Sun for 2. I guess that's better than a Green Sun for 1. Or better for them than a Green Sun for 1. I'm not sure what they're getting here. Just another Visionary. I guess that's dangerous. Alright. You can get the beats in for 1. So I'm going to play my first Hidetsugu, and we'll see how that goes. Kind of an awkward no play there. This is definitely a situation where Plague Engineer would have been better. But, you know, that's okay. So if they have some cards, but, you know, Hidetsugu will eventually hold the ground. They can attack me for 3. That's not going to get it done. But, you know, something like Natural Order would be good. Collector Roof is fine. Oh, that's a lot of mana. That will probably win the game here. Yeah, that'll do it. That will do it. Yep. Okay. Well, that was cool. Cool. Elves. So these are good in the Elves matchup. Deafening Silence does nothing. Tourach's not very good. Red Blast does nothing. Ashiok is okay, but not that good. It does shut off Nat Order, which is decent. It shuts off Green Sun Zenith, which is good. I would consider it, I guess is the right answer. I like the Dauthi Voidwalkers because they go with Umezawa's Jitte. Liliana of the Veil is typically actually not good because they have a bunch of like meaningless elves. So I'm going to bring these in. Lion Sash can occasionally be meaningful, but I actually think I'm going to bring in an Ashiok here just to shut off Nat Order and a couple other things. Dark Rituals are good. Thoughtseize is fine. Him to Tourach's good. It's actually not amazing, but on the play, I think I'll keep it out. I'll probably swap it for something else on the draw. Hidetsugu's good. Opposition Agent is good. I think this is okay. I'm going to go with this. Ugh. So this hand can gamble on a turn 1 Ashiok. If I had another land, I would totally turn 1 Ashiok. But as it is, this hand's bad. I have to mulligan this. This hand's worse. I have to mulligan that. Wish I had the other hand. Okay, this hand's fine. I mean, it's not fine, but it's okay. I think you have to keep the Prismatic Ending. Definitely throwing back 1 Opposition Agent. I think you want the other Opposition Agent, which means I have to throw back a land. I want all of these cards. This is a great 6, actually. But I have to put back another one. I think you want to keep the Opposition Agent. You Prismatic Ending their turn 1 play. Yeah, so I think you put back the Hidetsugu. It's hard to put back Hidetsugu against Elves. Let me tell you that. Rough. All right. I'm going to play the Scrubland. Because my turn 2 play might be Wasteland plus Prismatic Ending. Still, it's rough. I'm down 2 cards. That would have been a great 6 if I got to keep the Hidetsugu. So I cut the Plague Engineers, which used to be in the sideboard. I figured between Hidetsugu in the main deck and the Liliana of the Last Hope, that would cover things. You know, that's dubious, obviously, but, you know. Here's a green sun. All right. Can't Prismatic that. Can Wasteland the Bayou, but don't really want to do that. Swords is good here, actually. Swords is good. So I'm gonna Swords the Dryad Arbor. Just try to get me to my 3rd land. Because the Opposition Agent frequently does work in this matchup. I'm gonna just make a note. They usually have, okay, I was gonna say they usually have 2 Dryad Arbors. All right, we'll see what happens here. So I'm gonna just play the Wasteland and hold up. I'm playing Opposition Agent here. We'll see what they do. So this is their 2nd Dryad Arbor. They typically don't have a 3rd. You got a Glimpse Chain. You have a Wirewood Symbiote. They need like a, whatever that land is. The land that taps for creatures. Can't remember the name of it right now. Not Misty Rainforest. Oh, I'm going to get him here. What? All right, my friend. Very good. Okay, I'm going to still play the Opposition Agent here. And then, I mean, I guess they got me. They got me. So I'm still going to play it. It plays into what they're doing, but I mean, oh, they F6'd through. That's interesting. Okay, well, that changes things. As a result, I think you Prismatic Ending the Wirewood Symbiote. And I think you Wasteland the Bayou. This leaves them 1 land, and I can always plow that land next turn. You got it. Sure. So I'm going to play a trick here on my opponent. And I'm going to attack in with the opposition agent and try to trick him into blocking with the blocking and cracking the Misty. And then I'm going to swords the Elvish Reclaimer and take their land. Okay, so here you take their land, and well, I'm just going to swords the Elvish Reclaimer. They did it before blocking, so I get everything here. Okay, we'll take a snip of this. So what do they got here? They got an Archon of Valor's Reach. They have a Grist, which actually they will not be able to cast. Well, they have the Bojuka Bog. I guess they have a couple elves that tap for mana. For natural order sources, they only have an Archon of Valor's Reach and a Craterhoof Behemoth. They probably have a natural order in their hand because I think it's a 4 natural order deck, and there's 3 here. So I'm going to take the Bayou and hope for the best here. Yeah, they probably have an Allosaurus Shepherd in their hand. And then there's 4 Gaia's Cradles, so they don't have one of those. So, okay, I'm going to take the Bayou. Bayou also works for me. And we'll see what they do. It was debatable. I could have like Prismatic Ending that thing and then swords the Dryad Arbor. That might have been better. I don't know. I'm going to fetch out here just to thin. No creatures in the graveyard, so the witches... Not that I have the other swamp, but the witch thing doesn't do anything here. I'll just get a scrub. That doesn't do anything. I guess we'll just attack. They don't have any... I don't see any... Like... I don't see any flash creatures here. Five cards in hand, though. Like, what do they have? Really need to draw something. Wasteland would be good. Jitte would be good. Stoneforge Mystic would be good. That's fine. I'm just going to Prismatic Ending that thing. Urborg Tomb of Yawgmoth is probably not going to be played because I don't want to give them black mana. So you just kill that thing, keep swinging. Alright, not even attacking. Oh, they're getting aggressive. Alright, that seems fine. Wish I had another opposition agent. That would have been hilarious. There's a dead draw. Although it does make Stoneforge Mystic a little better, because you can with a Dark Ritual I can play Stoneforge Mystic, get Jitte, play Jitte, equip Jitte, and attack all in one turn. So, because I'll have enough, so that would be a big turn to hit the Dryad Arbor with the Jitte. See what they got here. Got some creature of some sort. Got a Glimpse Chain. All right. Nothing I can do about that. Endurance evoked. Okay, just to draw a card. Exiled Natural Order, which I guess is a dead card right now. you can target somebody with that if you want to. Okay, that's fine with me. Getting aggressive. So they just did that to draw one card, a 3-for-1. That seems fine. Cool. Welcome to Deadguy Ale, where you frequently look at your opponent for 5 turns. My opponent is short on lands. Alright, Heritage Druid. Do they have another one? Nope. So they can double block the opposition agent, I suppose. Let's Thoughtseize them. See what's going on. Okay, they have Thoughtseizes. A Green Sun Zenith and a Craterhoof Behemoth. So I can attack, trade it for 2 elves, and then I don't even think I want to. I think you just, I guess they most of these cards are just dead cards. Do I want to take the Craterhoof or take the Green Sun Zenith? I think the Green Sun Zenith is more likely to be used this game. So maybe I'll turn that off and just sit back until I draw something that kills them. Something that can do damage. Maybe I'll take the Craterhoof Behemoth actually, because let's see, did they have anything that kills opposition agent? They have Grist the Hunger Tide with no black mana. So I think I'll actually take the Craterhoof Behemoth because I think they're more likely to get to the mana to play it than I'm not attacking with opposition agent as long as unless I can do so profitably. So I'm going to take the Craterhoof Behemoth here. And I'm just going to sit back. Unless I draw a Wasteland or a Swords to Plowshares or a Prismatic Ending or something, I'm not attacking. And they can't attack either, I guess. Cool. We're just going to stare at each other awkwardly. Long games, we are the beatdown in this matchup, so I do have to get something going. Hidetsugu would be a thing to get going. Prismatic Ending is okay. It's debatable what I hit here. It's probably the Heritage Druid. I probably don't care about Allosaurus Shepherd right now. They're a long way from the mana for that. So I think you just hit the Heritage Druid, cut them off from mana. And I'm just going to pass. They need 4 more mana to get to Allosaurus Shepherd. They need a creature and a Gaia's Cradle or something. Alright, you got it. They can get there fast, though. So I could trade the opposition agent for both of those. Alright, Stoneforge is great. Stoneforge is fantastic. So I think even though it turns on the Green Sun Zenith in their hand, I guess they could use that to get Collector Oof. Although they're going to be very low on mana. Alright, well, we're swinging. I'm definitely going to trade the opposition agent for all 3, I think. And leaving a token on the thing. So let's go for it. Actually, can I kill them this turn? Can I just go Stoneforge Mystic, double Dark Ritual, get whatever that thing is, and just beat down? That forces them to block with both to live? That's the play. We're doing that. That's better than Jitte. So we're going to get Kaldra Compleat here. And then I can double Dark Ritual and cast it. Let me just double check that. That's 5 off of 1. Yeah, that works. Okay, so we're going to go Dark Ritual, Kaldra. I think it's actually just lethal if I attack with the opposition agent, because they'll have to block. Well, yeah, I think it's just lethal. I think that just kills them. So they have to block here. Like they can block the opposition agent, take 5, or they have to. Yeah, they're just dead. There's no way through this. I'll just F6 because they're dead. Yeah, I don't. Could have, I guess, 6 Elvish Spirit Guides maybe. All right. So that was interesting. That was a weird game where we looked at each other for a while. Kaya Orzhov would have been good. Cool. All right, so on the draw, do I want Ashiok? Probably not. Yeah, I think you just try to survive to Hidetsugu. This is definitely a matchup where a Plague Engineer would have been good, but, you know, can't win them all. Yeah. So normally the way that you win this matchup is get the Jitte online and then just wipe their board of creatures or kill them all with Hidetsugu. So that's usually where how you win this matchup. I do consider this matchup somewhat favorable. This hand's great. You have a turn 1 Swords, turn 2 either Confidant or Stoneforge, and turn 3 Liliana. This is a keep. So I'll Swords if they Green Sun here, I will Swords it. That looks like what they're doing. That's fine. So you Swords the Dryad Arbor just to survive a turn, basically. Just to, like, it gives you, like, they can win turn 2 off of this play. So if I drew a Dark Ritual, I would have probably Ritualed into Liliana the Last Hope. But, you know, I still think Swords to Plowshares is the play here. Yep. And then basically next turn you can, there's a couple options, but let's see, what did they do there? Birchlar Rangers, sure. Elvish Reclaimer, sure. Elvish Reclaimer is kind of a problem. Okay. I think you still Thoughtseize here. Do I Thoughtseize? Yeah, I think you have to Thoughtseize, because if they just have natural order, you just lose the game. I'm going to do that. Hope to draw Hidetsugu. I'll get a Badland. There you go. All right. So they got a Visionary, which is a pretty good draw, admittedly. But yeah, this is what you do. And then they're going to Visionary, and then, oh, they have Once Upon a Time. Okay. I guess I'll know exactly what they have then. That's going to hurt Liliana Last Hope, because they can play the Visionary. They're going to tap for 3 mana, and then they can play the Visionary and another Dork. Can't easily play the Archon of Valor's Reach, though. Play the Visionary. Hope you don't draw 1-drop. That's fine. So best draw in the deck would be Hidetsugu here. Okay. I don't hate... Okay. So they have Archon of Valor's Reach, and they can play it next turn off of the Birchlore Rangers, right? 1, 2, and then they would need another elf. Or they can tap 3 elves for 3 and have 6. So they definitely have... They have good stuff, is the answer. I think I want to play a Stoneforge Mystic this turn. It just puts a blocker in front, which is going to be really good with Liliana Last Hope. And I think you want to Swords to Plowshares something. And it's debatable what that something is. But I have to do it on my turn because they have Archon of Valor's Reach. So, yep, that's the plan. So I'm going to get another Scrubland here. I'm going to play the Stoneforge, and the Stoneforge is not going to, I'm not going to get Kaldra because I don't think Kaldra does it right here. Do I want to get Kaldra? I think this is probably good enough. Like, I don't need the Jitte right now, so maybe I will do that. I will get Kaldra. So I have my blocker, basically, and then I want to Swords to Plowshares, probably the Birchlore Rangers here, just to shut off the Archon of Valor's Reach. Super annoying. This gives them a ton of mana. Let's see, I took a snip of their deck. Did they have a white land? No. I don't see a white land in here. So Birchlore Rangers is their only way to cast it. So yeah, I guess they could tap 2 and then tap 2 more, and that's 5. Yeah. I think you swords the Birchlore Rangers here, and then next turn I'm gonna Liliana Last Hope the Heritage Druid, and that'll be my plan. So I'm gonna hit the Birchlore Rangers. It gives them a turn with Heritage Druid, which is dangerous, but them's the beats. Sometimes you gotta get lucky here. Hope they draw nothing. Hope they draw blank. So they can totally Elvish Reclaimer here for some land that taps for a bunch of mana, which is dangerous for me. But that's how it goes. All right, that's great for me. So I don't think they have a land that taps for white. I don't think so. Okay, so Liliana Last Hope is going to start getting her work on. All right. Let's go black, black, black. Liliana Last Hope. Tick down on the Heritage Druid. So that cuts them off of Craterhoof Behemoth, I guess. It's dubious, actually. You know, maybe I should have got the Visionary there. It's definitely questionable. So my opponent can get a 3-power Elvish Reclaimer here by cracking the Windswept Heath and then sacrificing a land, and have a bunch of mana again off of just Gaia's Cradle. I guess Gaia's Cradle just taps for 2 right now. 3, I guess, if he fetches a 3 if my opponent fetches a Dryad Arbor. So that actually wouldn't be bad. Get a Dryad Arbor, and then get a Gaia's Cradle, and then they have a bunch of mana. Nothing wrong with that. I think my next turn, if I draw a land, I'm going to play Ashiok. Ashiok will turn the Elvish Reclaimer into a nothing, and then it'll also turn the Elvish Reclaimer into just a 1/2 basically permanently, and turns off Natural Order and Green Sun Zenith. So I think that's the play. Just because now if my opponent draws, okay, and this is potentially dangerous here, because if they draw Birchlore Rangers, they can probably cast the Archon of Valor's Reach here, which is super bad for me. That's fine. I mean, they get to do some shenanigans here, but it could be worse. Yep. It's not good, but it could be worse. Heritage Druid, I don't think matters that much right now. They can attack the Liliana Last Hope. Nope. Swords to Plowshares is really good here. Swords to Plowshares is really good here. So we'll tick up on the Wirewood Symbiote, because you have to do that one first. Sure. All right. So I think playing the Ashiok here is still pretty good because I have blockers for everything that they're doing, and Ashiok turns off Natural Order and Green Sun Zenith. So I think that's the play here. And then you just hold up the Swords to Plowshares. Like if they want to attack unprofitably into the Stoneforge Mystic, good on you. Boy, it's going slow. I need to restart MTGO. Okay, so that's pretty good. And I think we just passed the turn here. And then next turn we'll just start getting the beats with the Kaldra Compleat. And kill Heritage Druid or kill Dryad Arbor probably. Kill Heritage Druid probably first. Visionary's fine. Doesn't do much. I mean, it gives him a bunch of mana, but what are you doing for 4? Oh, second Visionary. Can't do anything about that. Probably just kill the Visionaries before they get something online that... Okay. Okay, do I want to swords anything? Let's see here. I can swords like 1 Visionary and then... No, I think you just hold up the swords as a combat trick. Although then I can't do both of these things. I think that's okay. Hidetsugu would be a great draw here. Boy, MTGO is so slow right now. Hidetsugu, great draw. Great draw. All right, well, that's the play right here. So let's see. Do we want to tick up on a Visionary or a Dryad Arbor? I'm going to tick up on the Visionary, leave him the Dryad Arbor. Play the Hidetsugu, and this is pretty good. This is pretty good. All right, and I don't think I'm going to do anything with the Ashiok right now. Just going to chill. Yep, don't need to exile their graveyard. Ashiok's just turning off Natural Order and Green Sun Zenith. See what my opponent's got. They've got nothing. Just going to sit back. That's pretty good. So let's tick up on the Visionary. And I'm going to get aggressive with the Kaldra Compleat here. I think this is where we start the game. This is where we start things. So we just start attacking. Like if they want to attack, you know, whatever, Liliana Last Hope, she's got plenty of hit points. I don't even think I'll plow it. So Dryad Arbor dies next turn. Yeah, okay. Just scoop it up. Seems good. All right, so that's how you win the Elves matchup. Normally this matchup doesn't go to super long games, but yeah, normally like you have to draw your outs, your Liliana, your Hidetsugu, or you get them with a big opposition agent or something. But yeah, anyway, that was good. I'm going to restart MTGO and get to the next match. Hey, it's Nathan. Always like playing Nathan. Can't cast 3 spells in my hand, but I have 2 turns to draw a swamp. I think this is okay. I think this is okay. I'm going to keep it. Nathan does have a tendency sometimes to run oops all spells, and in that case, I'm just going to lose. So I'm going to keep it, and we'll see what Nathan's got. This kind of looks like oops. Well, I'm losing this one. To be fair, there's nothing in my deck that wins this game 1 on the play, or on the draw. Alright, yep. And I just want to get a look at Nathan's graveyard before... okay, so there's a couple key cards I'm going to look here before scooping it up. So I lose this one. I wanted to see if he had there's like a green card that puts cards back into his deck. Maybe that's a sideboard card. And I don't see it. So he's just got Cabal Therapies. Looks like the whatever is in his hand, but that's fine. Yeah, this is well, I'll just yield to these, and I'll wait till Nathan does something. Like I'm not gonna let him therapy me, but I assume he has to therapy himself. Does he have, what do you call it in here? I didn't see the bridge. Where's the bridge? I guess he can therapy himself for bridge. Yeah. He's targeting himself. So therapy himself for bridge from below, and then therapy himself. Yeah, I was going to say, he's got to get the bridge first. Oh, yeah, okay. He can just get Thoughtseize. Okay, that works. And then just do it. You got it. Concede. Okay. So that was that's oops. Oops is a matchup. Cool. So you want all of these. These all do nothing. I don't think Kaya's not good here. The Ashioks are better than some things, but like only if there's literally nothing else do you want Ashiok. Hidetsugu's not good. Yeah, I can hit some like random like petals and stuff, but that's not what you want. So you cut those. You cut Jitte, which doesn't do anything. You cut, you want all this, you want all this. You might cut a swords or two. You keep the opposition agents because sometimes you can just get them. Liliana the Veil is fine. I think typically, yeah, we're cutting probably all the swords to plowshares, to be honest. And probably all the prismatic endings too. If I have to keep between those two, I'll probably keep the swords. Just in case, because sometimes they just have to play out the like combo creature before going for it. So maybe I'll do that. I guess I could keep Tourach Dreadcantor. It's not that good. Debating between Source of Plowshares and Tourach Dreadcantor. Neither one is very good here. Ashiok is okay because sometimes you can just like make them discard the combo card, or hit the combo card with Ashiok and it turns off searches and stuff like that. So it's not dead. It's not a very good card in the matchup. I think I'll take the Tourachs. They're not that great, but actually I guess because I'm running Deafening Silences, maybe I'm gonna turn off. Maybe I'll skip the Ashioks and keep Swords to Plowshares. This is a weird one, but with Deafening Silence, you can't Dark Ritual into Ashiok, so I'm gonna do this. We're gonna see how this goes. We'll see if Nathan gets me. Okay, this hand loses, so this is for sure a mulligan. This hand is fine. This hand is fine. So I'm gonna Deafening Silence on turn 1, and then turn 2 I can Thoughtseize them, and then Dark Ritual into Opposition Agent on their turn. So I'm gonna keep this. Put a card back. It's Lily. Let's hope. Okay, no Chancellor, no nothing. All right, cool. So we go Deafening Silence. The only thought here is if they do have like Force of Vigor, they might be able to still win through it. I'm gonna still do Deafening Silence, and we're gonna see how that goes. If they have Force of Vigor and they can still win turn 1, like, you got me. Well, there's the Force of Vigor. Alright. So I'm definitely Thoughtseizing here and holding up Opposition Agent. Well, okay. I guess you take the Balustrade Spy here. The fast mana, yeah, you cut him off the Balustrade Spy. Yep. Alright. And then we're Opposition Agenting at the end of turn, just to start the clock. Alright, let's go. This is actually a consideration. Like, does the clock matter more, or does the Lion Sash? I think you just hold up Lion Sash. Lion Sash wins the game. I mean, I guess they can Force a Vigor the Lion Sash, but I don't know. I think it's still fine. Like, that, they're going to be down so many cards. Yeah, there we go. All right. Cool. So there was the Force of Vigor. Lion Sash is an artifact, so it can be hit by that. But I think Lion Sash still wins the game. Like, they'll just be down so many cards. They'll have to use the Elvish Spirit Guide to Force of Vigor the Lion Sash. Like, I don't know. Yeah. All right. So we go to game 3 against Oops. Cool. Oh, gotta worry about the turn 1. We only have the 3 surgicals against that. I didn't see any Chancellor of the Annex there, so I don't think that's not something I have to worry about. Do I want to do anything different on the play or on the draw here? I don't think so. The Liliana of the Veil is not stellar, but it's probably better than anything else I got going on. Ashok just doesn't matter that much because, I mean, outside of the whatever the pact, the creature pact, outside of that one, Summoner's Pact, I don't remember, whatever it is. Outside of that one, like, they don't search the library really, and you don't. I mean, you have to basically mill the combo card because they go off in one turn. But you know, Dark Ritual into Dauthi Voidwalker is game ending against them. Surgical Extraction is also, like, you gotta have, basically you have to have something that shuts them down on my turn 1, and ideally you want Surgical Extraction because otherwise you can lose on the, I can lose before I even have a turn. I think I'm just running it back, same thing. This hand loses, so I'm definitely not running this. Nathan has also milled, or mulligan to 6. Do I keep a no-lander or just a wasteland? I think the answer is no. I think I go to 5 here. Cool. Well, this is a keep for sure. I think you keep double surgical, and okay. Well, I'm definitely putting back Swords to Plowshares. I definitely want to keep these. I think you just keep double surgical and put back the Lion Sash. If they Cabal Therapy me for Surgical Extraction, I lose the game. Probably. There's the Summoner's Pact. Alright. You got it. You got it. Okay, so let's see what they got here. Okay, so I'm definitely responding here. They have one card in hand. It could be a Pact in Negation. Let's see. Summoner's Pact, Turn Timber, Summoner's Pact, Summoner's Pact, Summoner's Pact, Elvis Spirit Guide, Turn Timber, Elvis Spirit Guide, Turn Timber. So they don't have anything that does anything if I just hit the Narcomoebas. So I'm just going to hit the Narcomoebas. And I think that's a game. Yeah. All right. Cool. So got the 4-1, lost to 8 cast, which is probably the worst matchup that of the major matchups that you face with this deck. Was able to beat Delver pretty convincingly. Deck felt pretty good. I'm willing to give Witch's Cottage another try or two, but there were at least 2 instances where I had it where like it like I never accrued value from it, and 2 instances where something like Castle Lochthwain would have been better. So I'll probably give it like 1 or 2 more tries, but I think Castle Lochthwain might just be the better card here. Otherwise, deck felt pretty good. 3 red blasts as opposed to 2. Maybe 2's the right number in the sideboard for this deck. I don't know. Yeah, like I felt like I didn't need 3 against Delver, which sounds crazy actually. Like I mean maybe it's just better than a Dark Confidant. I don't know. But yeah, Red Blast, like, yeah, maybe I'm under sideboarding there. Like, got to really refine my sideboarding. There were a few unfamiliar things with this deck. Like, I've just gone up from 2 to 3 Red Blasts, so there's still a few things I'm not quite sure of. But overall, deck felt great. I don't think I'd make any changes to the main deck other than, I think the Liliana is to the Veil and the Tourach Dread Cantor is definitely debatable, and the Witch's Cottage I'm not sold on. Like if I were entering in a tournament tomorrow with decent prize support, I'd probably enter with Castle Lochthwain. Yeah. I think if you're going to run Castle Lochthwain or Witch's Cottage, you can't run the Triome, and you probably, to be fair, shouldn't be running the Triome anyway. Just running 2 Badlands is probably right, especially and that's especially true if you're running like Castle Lochthwain. Wouldn't make any changes to the equipment. I think Lion Sash is the right 3rd equipment. I think Jitte is an obvious 2nd to Kaldra Compleat. Jitte's really good in a bunch of matchups. Like an online Jitte ends the game in a lot of matchups, so I think that's good. Hidetsugu, I mean, we saw where it was good. It showed good value against Delver. There were multiple games against 8 cast where I wanted it. It showed its value against Elves. Like, card's great. It really like shores up the bad matchups for this deck, which are Delver, which is not that favorable. It's probably, I mean, it's not terrible. It's probably somewhere in the neighborhood of like 45-55 or 40-60. So it's not a good matchup, but like Hidetsugu helps. And then yeah. Overall, deck felt good. I was happy with it. Cool. Hope you enjoyed this Redguy Ale video, and I will see you next time.